Well, hi, good morning, and thank you so much for joining me here. Today is August 18th. I was on vacation for the last week up in Quebec, but I'm back here now, and I'm ready to finish off this record player. Now, the last video, I think, nailed what's going on with this thing. It thinks the record is over all the time. So even as it starts playing, it decides the record's over and it quits the game. So this automatic function is preventing the record player from being used. Because every time you try to put it on, it just takes it off again. That's because the velocity sensor, for some reason, is slipping into the position where it gets to when the record is over. It's getting there on its own. I'm thinking it's vibration and shaking. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. This isn't the only record player that uses this technique. Many record players, many models use this same technique to trigger the end of the record automatic function. So why is this one causing this particular problem? Part of the difficulty in assessing that is the part in question is underneath the platter. You can take the platter off and look at it, but you can't operate it with the platter off. It can only operate in a normal way with the platter on. So you can't see its operation. So that's a little bit frustrating. So I'm still a little bit guessing at what is going on because of that. But what else could be going on? Why would this piece move into the finish position on its own if it wasn't sensitive to vibration? And you'd certainly think the makers of this, and this technique is in all kinds of record players, would have, I don't know, somehow become aware of this possibility that it could shake into the wrong spot, and they would have designed it and built it in such a way that that just doesn't happen. And when you look at the velocity sensor, which we're going to in a minute, there's really no explanation for why it would move into the wrong position, that I've got anyway. So with all that in mind, I'm going to take another look at the operation of the velocity sensor. The ideal thing is to make this record player work properly. But by the end of this video, in the worst case, I will just disable the velocity sensor and the tone arm will just reach the end of the record and just ride in the groove endlessly until somebody picks it up and brings it over. This is a semi-automatic record player, which means you just move the tone arm over. Power's not on. Let's try it again with the power on. We'll see what happens here. You move the tone arm over, it switches on the motor, away she goes. You see, it just doesn't want to play. It's got a mind of its own here. So that's the problem right there. You saw it. So I am going to fill my coffee cup now and take a little break, and then we're going to look inside at that thing again and really try to imagine accurately what is going wrong. Maybe here's an opportunity I haven't made the best use of. I've got some holes in here. I can look through and see the parts underneath and ponder what is that? That looks like a spring lever of some sort. I hadn't noticed that before. Hey, you're looking at things through a small hole. It makes you see more. Let me turn the power off so it won't actually come on. I don't know if you can see something moving in there. That's the push lever that's being pushed forward towards the velocity sensor. So the velocity sensor should already be in the wrong position if the player started and stopped on its own. So rather than push it with this, I wonder if it's failing to reset, if this is really the problem. When the record is finished, the velocity sensor should be reset. And that usually happens when the tone arm comes back all the way. But I don't see anything moving. Let's take a look at that possibility here. So velocity sensor. Let me take the top off here. So here's the spring I was noticing. See it pushing the bottom piece of metal, the bottom of these two pieces here, the bottom piece is moved by this, and it drags the top piece across because they're just sitting on top of each other, drags it over. This thing, if it drags it not quite far enough, it'll kick it back. As it comes around, this comes around, kicks it back. But this continues to move forward, the plate continues to move forward, the top plate keeps getting dragged forward and kicked back every time around until this moves fast enough that instead of kicking it back, it catches it. Okay, so I'm just reviewing the operation here. Now it's in the start mode now. This comes across and pushes it. Now the record player should go, okay, pick up, go back, and I'm watching for these plates to be reset. Well, I don't think anything's going to reset them. Now that could be because this really isn't an accurate way of looking at this. We really need this spinning. Well, that's an interesting question too. How does this engage with this? It just sits in it? Well, I guess so. There's no key or anything. Let's just sit in this little cup shape here, and that's enough to turn this. It doesn't need to be attached. And I can't see there's any problem with it. There's no pieces sticking out to trigger anything here. So how does that get kicked back? Good question. How does this get kicked back? This is the reject button here. I'm going to push on the front of the player right here. Oh, so that's pushing it forward. That's because it's a reject button and you're trying to cause the velocity trigger to activate anywhere where the record's playing. So you're just pushing this metal forward. If you notice, it's designed so that you're pushing both the bottom and the top plate forward into the catch position. That doesn't reset them. What is resetting them? So, okay, so I will be the record here. This would happen at the end of the record. This would normally be over here somewhere. The plates are traveling. Didn't really think about that. And they go traveling around. On the way, maybe they hit something underneath that resets them. How much you want to bet that's the case? They're still sticking out. Oh, I think I remember now. They reset because they run up against this. I think I figured that out before. Here we come. Coming around. This is the reset. First, one way. That probably positions the two plates properly and relative to each other. And then we come here, it pushes, there it is. There's the reset. Now, the top plate is being stopped by this piece of plastic here. And this should go right by. Goes right by. So that actually worked. But in actual practice, it doesn't work. Now I thought, wow, these plates are supposed to be quite loose in here. Let me put a different camera on here, and we'll take a closer look at. We'll do that again. We'll take a really close look at its operation. While I was drinking my coffee, I got an idea here. So let's put this on here, and I will be the motor. Now it should not pick up or anything. Now I will bring the, oh, a little slower. Bring this over and trigger it. Okay, now take it back. Okay, I can see the velocity sensors about here now, coming around. Okay, it's coming around here now. There. Okay, so the gear driven by the platter is now in the blank spot on the big white wheel. Let's see what happened to the velocity sensor here. Well, it looks correct to me. I'll spin this around and see what happens. Well, actually, if I can spin the platter, if you can spin the platter, then there's no way this is in the wrong position, and the platter was spinning. Spinnable. So conceivably this worked fine when I did it just now. So why not when the motor runs? Why not when the motor does it? Let me do it at a higher speed. Okay, nothing ridiculous here, just a more normal speed. It's going around again. So what's happening is it's not releasing. It's going through the return function. This record player has no pickup and set down function. If it did, it would be doing that too. It would be coming over, setting down, picking up, going back, coming over. But it's just sitting here because it has no, because it's only a semi-automatic. So definitely it's not. Well, how come it worked when I first did it, but now it's... Yeah, there, it caught it. The only difference was the speed at which I turned the platter. So there's going to be some centrifugal force throwing this outwards. Although if they balance the weight of these two, of the metal part here, you know, if this is the fulcrum and the weight here and the mass here and the mass here are the same, then there'd be no propensity to throw it out. I can't, like, this doesn't turn freely, it's all got this mechanism. I can't spin it and see what happens, but obviously nothing. Well, I can tell if this is balanced by tipping the record player up and seeing what happens to this piece. He says. I'm making this up as I go. I hope you realize this. This is not standard test number 5 coming in. Let me lock this so I don't have a little surprise. What happens when you tip this guy up? I would think nothing should happen. I would think they balanced it. Oh, nope, just fell. It just fell. Oop, you can't quite see. Fell right down. A little hard to light this, but it just dropped. So the weight is not balanced. Oh, I guess you can see it like that. Let me push the reset button. No, it doesn't help any. But you can see it definitely falls. So, but this is level. So it's got nowhere to fall. What are you doing, man? And what can I do about it? So this is held on by a locking ring. This is one of, I gotta get the close-up camera on it here. The automatic focus is on, so this might not work out so well. Well, I was going to look at the locking ring. Yes, the locking ring. So you see what style it is. Now, that's applying a certain amount of pressure to these parts. Not much. Now, if I tried pushing this down the other on the earlier video, but I didn't try very hard. I just wanted to know if it was kind of loose. And maybe this ring, if you push it down farther, it'll put enough friction in here to kind of stop things from traveling. This is the catch part right here I'm touching. When the white part comes around and catches it. That does seem, look at the way it's tipping up there. It strikes me that's looser than would be desired. Now, is there any springiness in this? I don't think there is. I don't, you know, if it were so I can push this down. Problem is, I push it down, I don't think I can get it back up. So if I push it down, it locks this. If you lock this hard enough, then when the tone arm comes across, the pusher will get stuck. This will meet too much resistance, and then the record tone arm won't advance. It'll start skipping because it's restricted. I think I should try pushing that down. I need to find a little tool I can kind of slide over top of this white piece and push the whole thing. I need something. I know exactly what I've got that might do that. I'm not sure it's quite the right size. A little guy here. Okay, so if I push this too far, I'm going to lock these pieces. One of the ways I'm trying to, I can potentially escape this problem is to lock this piece over here where you see it now, and it'll never engage with this part, and that's the end of that. See, I could just bend this. You could bend this. You could bend this piece. I just realized you could bend this tab. I mean, I'm not about to do it, but you could bend it and change its position just enough, maybe, to stop the. No, this had fallen all the way in, hadn't it? Let's do this thing. I'm trying to tell if is this deep enough? I think it is. How would you push this down? Come on. Give it a whack? I don't know. I don't think this is going to work that well. Pushing on a plastic piece there. Look at it. That's pretty loose too. I don't know. Pushing this. Okay, we're going to try it because I'm all the way here. I'm going to give it a little rap. I'm going to strike the top of the screwdriver with, or the wrench here, with another tool. I don't think this is going to work. Here we go. Wacko. Think that moved at all? I doubt it. No, that didn't move it. No, I have to kind of push it very carefully. Even if I could put it down on an angle, I mean, I just want to put more grip onto it. So just push any one side down, even. I don't think it moved. This plastic. I need to put something underneath the plastic part to keep it. If I push hard enough, I guess I could. Can I break this? It wouldn't do it any good, that's for sure, if I push too hard. So I need to put something underneath the white wheel to compensate. What would that be to support it? What would go under there? You know what I could try? It's kind of an awkward sort of thing, but I'll take this tool here and kind of shove it underneath there if I can. And then I just lift up a little bit and hold the tool. Well, get this out of the way here. Did I move? What happened? Okay, So now I'm kind of squeezing between these things. Does he know what he's doing? No, he does not. He does not. Go down. How do accidents happen? So there's 4 key elements to an accident. One of them is energy. And I can't remember the other 3. But anytime you have a buildup of energy, it can be chemical energy, it can be the speed at which something's moving or rotating, it can be pressure or pushing, like I was pushing. So there's potential energy. Anytime there's energy, you've got one of the 4 accident factors in place. The other 3 are stupidity, idiocy, and knuckleheadedness. No, they're not. No, there's another 3. I looked them up, and I'm sure you can find them somewhere. The 4 ingredients to an accident. The 4 necessary ingredients. So I'm not getting anywhere here. Shimming it. What if I were to get under it? Like put a shim in there. Well, that's crazy. Well, this is if anything, it's looser. And I run the big risk of breaking this guy here too. And I don't even know if I were to push this down, would it solve the problems or just create a new problem? Why don't we do this? I don't see a solution here. So we'll look at the stop it from working at all problem. So we would want to freeze this in this position. So one way, you just put some tape on it. Just tape it down on this wheel. Put in some tape. I don't want to do something that can't be undone easily, and I don't want to do something that won't be obvious to somebody down the road. Who knows? Who knows where this record player is going? Probably 20 years into the garbage. But who knows? This thing could be around 50 years from now. We don't know. Somebody could I'm going to make this thing work because it doesn't work automatically. They're going to take it apart and look inside. They're going to find my efforts, and I want them to be of a sort that they can look at it and go, wow, I see what happened. Somebody taped this down. And they can carry on. So if I freeze this piece is going to run into some stiff stuff. So we need to experiment a little bit here. So let's do that. If I were to tape this down, so I'll just hold it with my finger, and then we have the tone arm come across and try to push it. Yeah. So the tone arm is stopped. You can see it trying this best. Actually, it's managing to push the lower plate. So what would happen there is sooner or later somebody would do this and push it. It would free itself from the tape here. And we can't do that anyway. We can't do that. Because if we do that, can't play a record any farther than about there. So removing a part, well, I'd rather not do that. Like trying to remove this, so it's not there to come across. You know what? There's a screw. There's a hole right here. It's hard to see. I'll show you with the other camera. Just the longer you spend looking at something, the more things you see. That's pretty simple. So see through the hole there. There is a screw down there. There it is. And I'm guessing that's an adjustment screw. I'm guessing you loosen that off, and then you can change the position of this. Could you change it enough so it won't activate? I kind of doubt that, because if you look at the relationship between the degree of rotation of this, or movement of this versus this is almost amplified here. Oh, now I can see the screw completely. You know what? You could remove this piece. You could undo that screw and remove this little tail end piece. Let's look at that a little more closely. Again, this might be the way. This might be the way. So we pull this forward here. I need a little more light. Let's give it a lot more light. There. doesn't change in the camera view too much. Okay, so I'll bring this forward. There's the screw. Is it loose and adjust, or is it take it out and the piece comes off? See, this piece is above the deck and the arm is below the deck. So maybe they're forced to kind of make it this way where you have to screw this last piece in. So what happens if I undo that screw and the whole thing is malarkey? It's probably got a nut underneath it. And I don't know. It's one of those weird American screws. Look at that thing. Okay, so I can see the bottom of the record player down, that brown material. If I remove that from the bottom, I can get at the bottom of the screw. If the screw has a nut, I can get at it. So let's take it off. This is the way to do it. Oh, wait. No. No. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Apparently not enough coffee in me yet. No, that's not gonna work. The problem is this thing is getting there on its own, not being pushed by this. This is not the problem. This is the problem. So another thing I could do, I could work this off, work this ring off here, and take these parts off. You take them off, and then tape them down here so they remain inside the record player, or some other way of keeping them with the record player. That would disable the thing completely and cause no headaches. Would it cause no headaches? It would cause no headaches. The other way would be to remove the kicker, but I don't know how you would do that easily. And this thing is, yeah, I don't think that's a way. It'd be to take this off. Now, how do you get one of these one-way rings on? This is like those fittings in your car. You know, your car panels are held on with these plastic. Push them in, but try to take them out. Disaster occurs. Type connectors, one-way connectors. So I took my time with a little pointed tool and just tried to pry this thing and just slowly work it up. I can work this off and take these two pieces off. Problem is over. I wish they'd used a C-clamp here, but I guess with the plastic piece, maybe not. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go drink some coffee and think about this guy. I think I'm on my way to... I think I got a solution here I can do. While I was drinking my coffee, I thought, well, wait a minute. If I'm going to remove these pieces, then maybe I can try something else beforehand. Removing them is a risk. I could break this white pin off here, and then, okay, it's an automatic record player from then on. It'll never be semi-automatic again. So there's some things I can try to this. One thing in particular I'm thinking of, which might solve the problem. Probably won't, but what's the harm? If I'm going to try to remove these anyway, why not try it? And it's to put a little bit of lubricant between these plates. And the reason is to make them stick. That's right, lubricant to make them stick. Now, what kind of lubricant would I want to put in there? Tiny amount of very light oil. So here we are, light oil. A tiny amount. Am I doing the right thing here? Probably not. Okay, so we're just going to put just a little bit. You still want these parts to move, but I want them to stick. Now, I think it was Mr. Tesla who realized just how strong the adhesion is of a liquid against a flat surface. And that's where he came up with this fantastic pump. So there's quite a bit of adhesion right on the surface. You know, on the surface of things, there is tremendous chemistry going on that we are unaware of. It's at a very small scale. It's a very thin film of molecules, gas molecules, liquid, whatever it might be, on the surface of everything. And there's chemistry going on there to some degree, sometimes to a great degree, like on steel when it rusts. So the point of that is it's hard to realize the different environment that a surface presents to things. Some surfaces are catalytic. They act as a catalyst rather than a catalytic agent. And so we're hoping that a little bit of oil is just going to keep this thing from coming back. Now, I was able to make this happen, make the problem happen by hand. So let's try it again here. Okay, are we disengaged? Yes, we are. Round and around and around we go. Well, if you notice, it didn't automatically. Here we go. Never mind that. Going pretty fast here. No, went right around again. Yeah, here it goes again. So that didn't work worth a hoot. Something to do with the speed at which this turns, because see, I did it slowly and this time it released. So I can get a look at it right in here. It looks to me like it's already out. It's already in the wrong position. We can get a better look at it. Oh, that didn't work well. The thing went. It just traveled quickly. But definitely, it's in the catch position. Okay, so putting oil in here is, yeah, right. So we're back to trying to pick this ring off without breaking the white tab. I mean, in the end, if I break this, well, then it's just a semi-not automatic after that, but it'll still be playable, still be usable, so not the end of the world. It's just I'm trying to stick to my principles here of try to make things restorable. Okay, I'm just getting my other camera together here. It's tangled up cords. Take a close look again at that ring. Now, so what I'm imagining is how am I going to pry that out of there without breaking it? A little bit at a time. It's very, very small. I even have appropriate tools for this. Good question. Okay, here we go. So this is a great big thing. It's pretty big. Okay, I think I can catch this ring. Oh, I need a much smaller tool than this. I wonder if there isn't some kind of is there? I wonder. Okay, keep wondering. Pin it with this one. And then the idea is, and you can't see it from where you are looking, the idea is to get under. So tomorrow I get a new pair of glasses. I should wait till tomorrow. Because, well, you know, what about just prying it straight up? I haven't even tried that at all. Just pry it straight up against itself. And just see if it doesn't come loose. Maybe it will. Maybe it's not as stiff as I might have thought. You know, those. Not under there. Get under this thing here. apologize for the focus, but it is what it is. Okay, I'm under there. Did it come up a bit? I can't see the side I'm working on. I don't know, is it coming up at all? I think it might be. I think it's just a matter of just do the brutal thing. Well, how brutal can you get with a little tiny screwdriver that I'm using? I have an automatic brutality limitation here. Definitely coming up. Okay. Oops. Just take my time and not rush at it. When I look at the image in the camera, I'm getting my left hand and right hand mixed up. It's a weird experience. I look at this finger and I think it's on my right hand because the camera is facing towards me, and it's causing some very strange cognitive experiences here. There's somebody else's hand in there. It's not my finger. It's coming up. I think I can put a bigger screwdriver on here, but don't get excited now. I'm going to break the pin off. No excitement. I'm sure there was no intention of this ever being done in the life of this record player. But they would put an E-ring on this, I would think. C-ring, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Up you come. Whoa. This turned out to be the simplest approach of them all, isn't it? Really. Simple and direct. Remove the offending parts. As I get towards the top of this white ring, I stand more and more chance of breaking it. I try to put the force in a way that it's kind of straight up. Ooh. So it sounds like a flood is happening behind me. That's a toilet being flushed, in case you couldn't figure that one out. Oh. I'm getting there. Come on, man. Just settle down. Just be cool. Get under here. Would there be a better tool? Often the Swedish knife is when I'm doing these weird jobs. I bring out the Swedish knife. Hey, well, what if it works better now that I've loosened this? No, there's no chance of that, is there? I don't think there's any chance of that. But of course, that's just imagination, Jim. Okay, I need a bigger screwdriver now. Which one should we try? What about this Swedish fish knife? I don't think it's going to work out for me here. Stainless steel, Mora, Sweden. So do you have a Swedish fish knife in your shop? Swedish here because my background's actually Swedish. I'm actually a purebred Swedish person, except I was born here in Canada. Both my parents were from Swedish background. My mother was born here in Canada. My father came over from the, I don't know, if I said Swedish part of Finland, I might upset people, but there's an area of Finland that is populated by people who carry on the Swedish culture. Maybe that's the way to put it. And maybe at this point in time, you know, I'm talking about 80 years ago, the situation has changed. But there's an archipelago in Finland that is populated by Swedish people. As I understand it, maybe I got this totally wrong. I shouldn't say Swedish people. It's populated by Finnish people who practice Swedish culture. I think that's probably the way to put it. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Who's working this knife while I'm talking, by the way? It's like driving the car and suddenly you say to yourself, oh my gosh, I've been daydreaming. Who's been driving the last 3 minutes? Here we go. We're going to get it off. And there it goes. Boing. And we didn't lose anything here. Now, hopefully these parts just lift off. I never thought about them being... They must lift off. Okay, first of all, I'll lift that off. And we'll lift this off. And we'll lift this off. Yes! Okay, record player. I think I went a long distance for a very simple, straightforward method here. Okay, I was just very afraid of breaking this, which is why I was looking for alternatives. Now we need to test this guy and see what happens. Okay, so I'm not going to put the belt on. I will turn it by hand. Surely to goodness nothing can happen. I don't want it going that fast. Okay, here we go. I am the motor. Just step back a little bit. Give me some elbow room here. I have that confident sound about me now. Okay, this would turn on the motor. I hope. Play the record, play the record, play the record. Playing the record. We're playing the record. Now it's in the internal groove and it's just going to sit there until somebody comes along and picks it up. It goes like that. It'll click off the motor, and this won't spin quite so freely because it's belted to the motor. Okay, once again, lesson on how to put these belts on. Okay, so first you put it on the what would you call this? The track, the rim. You put it on here. Oh, you put it on here. This is the easy part. Okay, you look around to see if there's any. If it's, you know, folded over, it is not. And you then take like this. I'm going to stick my finger through it here. I want to do this in some kind of awkward. I'll use this finger here. Okay, we got to grab the belt. Stick it on the finger. Like so. Around we go. So my finger's now lining up with the motor here. I'll I got the belt so far, my finger threw way too far. Just like that. Oh, oh, oh. And now you can hear the air conditioner coming on in my house. I placed the belt on the motor. Put this on here. This on here. Ooh, some finger marks on there, Jim. Power on. Okay, you better come on when I do this. Oh, of course it will come on. Then we put this here. We play on. You won't hear it. Or if you do hear it, you're just hearing it right from the needle. Okay, now it plays the whole record. It gets to the end. It's going to go in the center and just sit there. And then some conscious human being has to go, hey, that record's over. I be honest with you, I have a record player that is not, is like this. It's semi-automatic, but it won't pick up at the end either. It doesn't have that feature. It just turns on and off, just like this one now, it just turns on and off. That's just the way it was made. And more than once I've come down in the morning and found my record player like this, still playing the record. The great thing is, there's no wiggle in the groove here. There's nothing wearing the needle particularly badly. It's like the needle wear rate is really low on this groove. So, but you really don't want that to happen. Okay, gotta play another record. We gotta hear it play. Everything's pretty well set up for that. Okay, I'm gonna stop for a minute and then we'll play a record. We'll play this record, a little bit of it anyway, and just make sure everything's working. Okay, let's have a listen to the tenants. I'm going to shut off the microphones here and we'll play this record a bit. Okay, microphone's back on. Well, that's really good. I think that's pretty good. I mean, this is not the highest quality record player. It's not the lowest quality either. Belt driven, so less rumble in the record from the motor. The belt isolates the rumble away from the motor, and this has a magnetic cartridge in it. Unfortunately, in my ears, in my headphones, and using these headphones to listen here, bass sadly lacking. Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me. And I had the bass boost turned up on my little sound system over there as much as I could get it. So I think it's really lacking. Bass response is why, I don't know. Maybe put some big speakers on this amplifier over here that comes with it, and adjust the tone control. It's got some advanced, equalizer type controls. You can probably bring enough bass out to make it quite listenable. I only have little speakers in my shop here, which won't do it justice either. You need big speakers. Sometimes these less expensive systems actually don't carry the bass because the bass comes with problems, or deep bass comes with a rumble and other problems. Maybe not this record player, but the ones that are truly rim drive with the little wheel here and all that stuff, those guys are rumbly, and they purposefully restrict the bass. So the speakers are smaller, cartridge can't deliver the bass sound, and so the rumble doesn't come through. But I think this is one step above that, for sure. So anyway, easy to play a record, and sound is pretty good. Remember, we looked at the needle. The needle looked, in my eye, I don't know what to make of it. It didn't look right, but it sounds okay. I was doing the skip test. You didn't know what I was doing when I was thumping the record player. I was imitating what happens if people are dancing near the record player. Your floors in your house spring like this. They go up and down as you walk, and all that kind of stuff. And those motions are transmitted to your record player. So, if you have 50 people in your living room jumping up and down, there's a chance you're going to skip. So I was imitating that by doing this, finding out how sensitive the record was to skipping, and it looks like there's no apparent anti-tracking, or anti-skate rather, anti-skate on here. There might be underneath somewhere or something like that. You can also determine if the anti-skate is set right by thumping the record player until the needle starts to hop. And it may hop. This one was basically hopping up and down in the same groove, which is thumbs up on that. But most record players, it'll hop to the next groove. It's either going to hop in or hop out, and that gives you some information about the skating forces on the record, on the turntable, which I won't go into because I am not an audiophile of this sort. But there are people who could talk your ear off about this kind of stuff, and not a concern with this record player, I'm sure. I think we're done. I think I'm talking for no good reason now. I should go out and do other things. Of course, big rain is supposed to come today. Flood level rain. I'm not in any risk of flooding here whatsoever, but so other people are. If you living in the lowlands, living at the riverbank. That's it for me today. So thanks a lot for watching. Tomorrow I'll have that big old 1935, I think it's a really old one, HRO radio back in here, which I've been reading up on, as I mentioned. And we'll carry on with that radio. Thanks a lot for watching, and enjoy your day. See ya.